Welcome back to Flint Transport. My name is Justin. Today we're going to be talking about electric trucks. First off, say hi to Jay. We got the yellow Peterbilt sitting back there. Bringing a load in. Jay's rinsing off. All right, we're going to go head out back and we're going to talk a little bit about electric trucks. It's going to get interesting. You guys hear that sound of the diesel motor? Guess what? Things are changing. Welcome to New York State. I'm just out here in our yard. Got this big Peterbilt here for a backdrop. A couple trucks rolling in. This is late afternoon. Got a bunch of papers here, guys. So these papers are in regards to the law that, I say law, a document or a bill that got signed by our new governor, Kathy, that wants to have big trucks emission free by 2045. Crazy. You know, the big question I think of is it really going to happen? Yeah, it'll be nice to get rid of these issues that we've been having with some of our trucks, like the emission motor trucks, but you really want to have all electric, all that wiring and everything else. It's going to be really interesting to see how these electric trucks hold up over the next several years. There's already Kenworth, Peterbilt, Freightliner. There's quite a few trucks that are already committed to producing electric trucks. And now, especially with these new bills signed, they are all have officials or their people within their company that are working with the government, I think, to even come out with these laws. Hey, it is what it is. It's the facts. They do. Cummins Motor, they have people that work hand in hand with the government on emission motors, you know, what they can do, what they can't do, and it's part of it. Politics and everything else. So even though I don't like electric, you know, you do got to take into consideration of everything that's happening here and what's coming down the pipeline. So I went right to New York State's website and looked up what actually is on the website, because I was getting conflicting reports. Some were saying 2035, some were saying 2045. And even though you think that your state might not ever have electric trucks, well, let me tell you something, you're wrong. In this paperwork here on the New York State website, it said that all governors have committed to be emission free on all trucks by 2050. So New York just wants to speed that process up. By 2035, they want to have all pickups, you know, small delivery trucks and vehicles electric. And then by 2045, all of class 6 to 8 trucks are going to be electric. It's a lot of stuff to retain in my head, so I'm just going to read some of this off for you guys. You can also go to the website, New York State Governor website, and check it out. It is on there as well. But right here, it talks a little bit about the Emission Act, and it says basically they want to use California's advanced clean truck rule as a template, and it says by 2035 model year, at least 55% of all new class 2B to 3 pickup trucks and vans, 75% of all new class 4 to 8 trucks, and 40% of all new class 7 to 8 trucks sold in New York State will be zero emission. So 40% of all new class 7 and 8 tractors sold in New York State will be zero emission. So that's almost half in 13 years. And I just want to read another sentence here, guys. So it says, many of New York's disadvantaged communities, predominantly home to low-income Black people of color, blah, blah, blah. This would reduce the health risk and pollution that would be affecting them. So supposedly where those people live are close to roads and things like that. Guys, at least you're making my health better. What do you say? So death of diesel will happen. It'll be interesting. By 2045 is the deadline for New York State. 2045 is when all trucks are supposed to be electric. Is it going to happen? That's the big question. I think it is so ridiculous. I don't know who even comes up with some of these laws. I think they need to go back to the era of 1995 to 2002 and have Caterpillar start building motors again. It's kind of sad to see that in America, we have to meet crazy standards, and it actually costs more to do that, especially in this era right now. I'm not talking about electric, but let's say just in this era right now that we're in with all these emissions, I have trucks that have to add DEF and get worse fuel economy than our pre-emission trucks. So on top of adding DEF, what about all those plastic jugs? What about all those plastic totes and the fuel and all that it takes to haul DEF fluid around? That alone, to manufacture it, to produce it, everything else, that alone is a waste. On top of that, you're getting worse fuel economy. And when these trucks burn off, you're putting just as much pollution in the air, I think. Now, electric, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not an electrician. I don't know much about electric. We'll see what actually happens there. Right now, though, with the laws that we have now with emission motor trucks, it's really, really crazy. It's not even right. Like people, these senators, these governors, I don't know, whoever's coming up with these laws, they're not thinking. Totally not using their head. Makes zero sense whatsoever. So that's my little rant. Electric trucks, we'll see. I don't know. All I'm going to say, guys, is going to take a lot of infrastructure. It's going to take a lot of solar panels. It's going to take some massive work to be able to have all these trucks going down the road electric. Think about for a minute that infrastructure that it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of emissions just to produce that. Just to create that infrastructure is major work. Sometimes you got to wonder. It's like they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Will these things actually work? Who knows? Who knows? But there you have it, guys. And like I said, I go right for the facts, go right to New York State's website, check it out. And even though you might be living in a state, you think, oh, you're going to get by. Well, it's coming. By 2050, that is what all governors have proposed or committed to by 2050, having zero emission trucks. For me, the question is, are they going to make it that these trucks right here, you will not be able to register? This is a 2019 glider. We can go, well, you know what? I don't have any emission trucks. Actually, right there's a T680. That is an emission motor truck. Can you still register those trucks in the next 10 years? That's what my question is going to be. Or in 2035 or in 2040, are you still going to be able to register these trucks? Are they going to pull the plug on registrations on all trucks that are creating emissions? That's what I don't know. That's what's going to be interesting. And that's where it's really scary for me to have trucks that say, you know, if I had a whole fleet of glider trucks, 30 trucks, right? And they come up with this law, who am I to go to them and say, hey, you know, this isn't going to work? Well, what? Guess what? You have a fleet of 30 trucks, well, sorry. And guess what? My gliders, if I had a fleet of gliders, they're not going to be worth a dime. Nobody's going to want them, especially with, you know, everything coming out of the pipeline. Before you know it, Pennsylvania is going to pass that law, and whatever state it is, they're all going to be passing these laws where eventually you won't be able to register these trucks, is what I'm guessing. So I don't know. I'm always going to keep gliders in the fleet as long as I can. I have interest in electric trucks. I'd love to try them out, test them out, see what they do, but I still don't think it's going to be years till they ever come up with something that is similar to that we can compare to. It's kind of scary, you know, some of these older trucks, having them in your fleet, or older pre-emission motors, you never know when they're going to pull the plug on them. But at least I hope that with electric, if they can make it efficient enough, even though it's not green, if they can make it efficient enough that maybe it's worthwhile for companies to flip over. You might see some of the fleets and they get enough of people on electric that they won't be pushing these other trucks out of the state. So let me know in the comments what you think of this whole New York deal. I know in California you guys are facing it, and I think here in just a few years you guys have actually all vehicles have to be electric. I think that's like in 2025 or 2027. That's coming right up for the people in California. Crazy laws that are getting passed, but there's going to be a major infrastructure build that's going to be happening for this to actually get accomplished. And I think that's what a lot of manufacturers are waiting on before they mass produce these electric trucks, because Peterbilt has electric truck, Kenworth, they all have electric trucks pretty much. It's just they're waiting for an infrastructure. Where are you going to charge them? You know, there's so much that has to get done yet. It has to get built. So they have high hopes to get everything done by 2035. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.